Hello mga katribu, it's Wednesday again, so good morning and welcome to Straight Talk, where we tackle key issues that matter to every Filipino. I'm Chito Lozada.
And I'm Teddy Montelibano. We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
So today we will talk about international business partnerships, technology solutions, and global companies expanding their impact on local industries.
Joining us is a Filipino executive. This is correct. I'm not sure if this is an accurate description, but leading a U.S.-based company.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
On innovative solutions across various sectors. He is the director of the U.S. subsidiary of Kitra Corporation.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
please welcome Mr. Oscar Lumen. Good afternoon.
Thank you
Oscar.
both. Thank you both for having me.
Thank you for your time.
Good
Thank
morning.
you. Thank you.
I-
Good morning.
I- I
Magandang
would have to
umaga.
say.
Yan. Salamat.
Very
Sorry
interesting.
about
eh?
that.
Yeah. Well, you are actually involved in two companies.
Sure. Yes.
True
So
Algae.
True Algae and
And-
Kitra
and
Corporation,
Kitra.
as you mentioned in the intro.
And
Yes.
those are both based in the US.
So actually, True Algae is based in the U.S. It's a company headquartered in Virginia, in the Washington D.C. metro area. Although very much we are engaged in expanding our global footprint in kind of the agri-tech, so agri-technology / biotech sectors to address really global, or we like to say glocal issues
Global.
in food security, climate change, and overall ways in which we can scale up green technology-based solutions to address pressing problems in our contemporary world. So the first area that we're really addressing is within agriculture and the global food supply. And from our intro, gentlemen, yes, I'm a director of the U.S. subsidiary of Kitra Corporation, which is a Japanese trading firm based in Osaka. And so,
Okay.
kind of our core area of sales and trading right now is food and beverage products.
Food and beverage.
Primarily from Japan, although we're starting to explore kind of exporting or reverse flow opportunities from the countries we do business in. So whether
Export,
it's
import.
exactly, so it's very much an import-export business. So those are the two companies that take up 25 hours and 8 days a week.
It's a lot of
of,
work. It's a lot of work.
Yes, no, it's a lot of work, but incredibly interesting and rewarding.
Yeah.
Each day has something, some new challenges or new opportunities, so never boring.
So what came first, True Algae or Kitra?
True Algae chronologically came first, although Kitra's principles I've known for a while now. So True Algae, the company itself was incorporated in the U.S. about 2018, I want to say.
2018.
Second half of 28, or no, first half of 2018. And then towards the second half of the year, that's when I first joined the board of directors of the company and was part of some of the early investor groups that invested in the corporation.
Yes.
And my involvement initially was helping on kind of legal advisory work. And at that time, they wanted me to stick around and be the core sec and general counsel of the company. But I had already moved back here to Manila, working on my nanotech venture, which we talked a little bit about off camera.
So Nanotech is a Philippine-based.
Yes, it's a Philippine-based company with Japanese and U.S.-based partners, and so in that endeavor, what we were doing was basically sales and distribution of engineering solutions for energy savings, pipe maintenance. So our core market there was kind of large buildings, hotels, shopping malls, factories, water systems.
So when you came back, what year was that?
This was the end of 15, beginning 16.
2015, 2016.
Yes,
that
yes,
was
that's correct.
Duterte.
The beginning of the Duterte administration.
Yeah,
Correct, correct.
almost.
Almost. Yeah, end of the Pinoy era, beginning
Yes,
of
yes.
Duterte time. Yes, yes, yes.
Final years.
So did it flourish?
Yes, the business flourished, right? We did well in terms of making immediate inroads to some of the larger hotel operators here. We were able to establish significant savings and operational efficiencies in how they were managing large facilities and what they're spending on water, electricity, and especially air conditioning. As we all know, the weather here, right? Pang aircon talaga dito.
Need aircon, no?
So we did quite well in that, and it was more of, I think, just how to. There's only one of me. There's never enough time, and then our interests and curiosities take us into different directions. That although I was juggling 3 projects, what became 3 projects or 3 companies, eventually it started to make more sense. Where, entrepreneurs have to make difficult decisions also. That which one do I leave behind? Because busy na. So that's why kind of the 2 main things I work on are True Algae and Kitra
Yes.
today.
Okay. So how did you get involved into True Algae?
So True Algae, I first got in.
First of all, why algae? What's so special about?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, and ties into how did I first get involved with True Algae, right? So in a prior stop in my career, I lived in Washington D.C. for 10 years, and I was working also at kind of a startup, but we had gotten past the startup stage. This was a company naman involved in fintech. The word did not exist yet at that time in around 2009, early 2010s. In that company, I was working with a couple of the business development executives, and then as the lawyer for the company, close interaction with them. So this was a great example of relationships and networking, right? That after we had left that company, those 2 colleagues of mine approached me around end of 2017, early 2018. Yeah, Oscar, if you happen to be around in Washington D.C., mag-coffee naman tayo. There's
Filipinos also.
No, 1 Korean and 1 Japanese. And they said, yeah, let's have coffee and talk about this interesting project that fell into our lap. It's microalgae based.
Microalgae.
Right? So I said, what do I know about that, guys? Well, you might know something about entrepreneurship and putting together the legal structure of a company so it can operate as a formal conversation. Yeah, so ganon. That lunch meeting was the first kind of briefing I received about.
So they gave you an orientation or something.
Yes.
Were you interested? Did it interest you?
Yes.
Enough for you to
get to where we are today, gents. Totoo yan. So the basic explanation of why microalgae and what became True Algae is, I actually confirmed this in my field research and curiosity when I went to the National Biology Institute at UP Diliman. I was talking to one of the profs there. Prof, viable ba to talaga as a business or even as a production kind of methodology? And he said, yeah, Oscar, you have to go back to high school biology. And I said, Prof, I barely passed. I barely passed. And so what the professor explained to me was, algae, micro or macroalgae, is the building block to the entire Earth's ecosystem, right? Okay. So,
what are they? I mean, can you describe them? I mean, do they have like a form or something?
So it's a small cellular level organism.
Visible, non-visible to the eye?
Non-visible to the eye, visible to a microscope. I guess what's visible in our conception is yung lumot mismo, right? Okay. That kind of
algae.
Yeah, that is algae, right? But
Boracay.
Exactly. Then
on occasion
and it sticks to something which it's not too pleasant.
Right. And then, but there's several billion species of microalgae, which there's plenty of scientific research already established in which different microalgae strains could serve a particular purpose in the ecosystem. Right? That there's microalgae that might have relevant application in pharmaceuticals and medicines. There's a lot of the big oil companies have done R&D on microalgae as a biofuel and so on, right? So
Do you remember this? There was a guy here in the Philippines who made big on algae. He was, was his name? He died already. Yes, seaweed.
Benson.
Benson. Yeah, Dakay. Benson Dakay, right? Are you familiar with it?
I've heard the name and definitely heard about the industry that was forming here based on seaweed, which actually still exists, right? There's plenty of operations like that in the Visayas and Mindanao. So that's one form of algae-based applications on the commercial and agri side. Yung sa amin naman, we identified we, as in our original founder and inventor of the production system that we have, he identified chlorella as the particular microalgae strain.
Because
Because this strain is conducive to unlocking or catalyzing what they call the microbiome that exists in plant and soil. So in layman's terms, applying the liquid solution of our microalgae, bubuhos lang on the soil or spraying it on the leaves and stems, right? Signals that microenvironment, meaning that soil and that plant, that it's safe to consume energy, to enrich itself, right?
But what is this? Do you collect this? Chlorella? You collect
So what we do is we mass produce, right? We mass
do you do
produce through we have a patented production system in the US that again was designed by our Korean founder. And so this because chlorella and all these microalgae, of course, are naturally occurring in nature, right? But then how do you harness that natural phenomenon to scale it up and to produce it in a consistent manner? So that's what we were able to accomplish with this production system, right? So that we are a mass producer of chlorella-based, what we refer to as metabolite water. That's also one of the product descriptions. So when it's applied directly to soil or sprayed foliarly, right, that's where you're able to see the significant soil health and biological health. And of course, last but certainly not least, the yield improvement, right? Of how much more yung bunga na from whatever plant or crop this is applied
So,
to.
Oscar, we discussed more about algae and your other company.
Yeah, with Kitra, of course.
Kitra.
Of course.
So,
I woke
we're
up
taking a commercial
I woke up
break.
today and said, what am I going to talk to Mr. Lumen about?
This break is brought to you by Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Usapang OFW is the show that honors the journeys of our modern-day heroes, our OFWs. Join Chingmi Fernandez, John Dodson, and Rafi Ayang every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. to hear the real stories behind the sacrifices. Watch it live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
Want to hear from thought leaders shaping our world? Straight Talk with Chito, Lozada, and Montelibano dives into leadership, politics, and business every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Catch conversation live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Ready for the hot takes of today's biggest issues? Hot Patatas with Vernon Velasco and Carl Magadia delivers the news that matters every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Tune in live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok, where the real talk happens.
But very
So,
interesting discussion.
Mga katribo, we're back. So, then you're talking something
A very interesting topic.
interesting topic.
Okay, so we're talking about microalgae,
Yes, yes.
Microalgae.
and well, we were talking about how do you collect it, harness it, and make something
Beneficial to
something that you can sell. I mean,
Yes,
something that you
correct,
can
correct.
commercially produce.
Correct,
Is that
correct. So
correct
that's the breakthrough that our founder was able to accomplish, right? That he was able to configure, and then ultimately we patented this system that mass produces this microalgae, right? So
Do you have a factory for that or something?
so yes,
Or a plant or
we
what?
yes we do have a production facility in Florida in the southeastern U.S. And then ultimately the business model of True Algae is similar, let's say, to what Coca-Cola does, where there's production and bottling partners all over the world. So that's a big part of my advocacy within the company, and what we work on is to establish as many country partners all over the world, because in terms of the economics, very similar to Coca-Cola's case, let's say, it doesn't make economic sense to import, export essentially a bottle of mineral water from the other side of the world to Asia and so on.
We establish locally.
Yeah, so the ultimate game plan is to really be able to establish as many production facilities locally here in any other country that we might be looking at to open up. But yes, in the Philippine
Is that
context,
easy to do?
First of all, raw material. We have raw material, of course. Is it an expensive process?
it's not as expensive as one would think when thinking about a mass manufacturing process, right? That, let's say, putting up a plant would be a capital expenditure of into the hundreds of $1 million in a typical manufacturing concept, right?
Yeah.
Here, for under $1 million, right, we could put together a system that could produce 100,000 liters of that metabolite water I mentioned, right, per year, right? And that's actually a small but viable production footprint in terms of accomplishing proof of concept, doing trials, and capturing early market share, right? That and then this unit that produces 100,000 liters can fit in the space of about 15 square meters, because it's a fiberglass tube modular system operated by a control panel with various sensors and measurements, right? But that small footprint of essentially a computer and control panel connected to the tubes, off you go with the production.
And then the equipment. What kind of equipment do you use for?
So primarily fiberglass tubes,
Fiberglass
and then
tubes,
the
okay.
control panel itself is basically a customized computer and sensors.
The whole operations can fit in 15 square meter
Space, yes.
15 square meters?
For that 100,000
small space.
for that 100,000 liter output,
Ah.
right? So the more you want to produce, then you add more, you add more fiberglass tubes, and then in turn you'll increase your square meterage.
So okay, in the U.S., in Florida, I mean, your operations are really based in the U.S. No?
Yes, our operations are in the
So
U.S.
how is it doing? I mean, how is it doing commercially?
So I would say,
Your market is what?
so the market right now that we've been tackling are in that specific area where we're based in Florida, is the one that's well known for a lot of berry fruits, whether strawberries, blueberries, in that particular region of Central Florida. So our first big breakthroughs, again, was in the berry fruits, strawberry farms, berry farms, melon farms, where from the trials graduated to some early sales. What we established in the trials was improvement in the yield, the amount that's
sorry,
being
I'm sorry.
produced in a particular harvest.
Is it okay? Can I be excused? Okay, I think this is my visa. Sure, of course. God Almighty. Jesus Christ.
So we're excusing Ed
Hello.
Montelibano. And
Hello,
you
yes.
can go on.
Sure. And then
Oh my God.
And so
Jesus
that,
Christ.
yeah,
You know,
that's what
I am
we were
in a,
able
I am
to
in a
establish in
television
our early
show.
trials and sales.
Hello, is this the
So
Visa
that's
Center?
the core market, right?
Hello?
The small, medium, and large farms, and then also we're trying to open this up on a B2B basis in terms of partnering up with large agribusinesses in order to scale up the use of our solution.
I was wondering, Oscar, how helpful the technology that you brought in would be for the local agricultural sector.
Yeah, I think without exaggeration, I strongly feel this is a game changer in local agriculture.
In terms of output.
In terms of output, and in terms of the the cost of production in the country, right? What's severely impacting our local agri industry, of course, is the price of inputs, specifically fertilizer, right?
Fertilizer.
Yes, because the global fertilizer market, right, shot through the roof, right? The market
Right,
got
right.
destabilized after the Russia-Ukraine conflict, right?
And especially now.
Especially now. So it's continued to keep prices at significantly higher levels. That how can our farmers afford that, right? Whereas using something like the name of our product, the company is True Algae. Our product is called True Solum. So using True Solum would actually significantly reduce, if not outright, have the farmer shift completely to using this instead of a fertilizer.
Have you introduced this to our Department of Agriculture or any other agencies that
Yes, so have
Involved in,
some
farming.
ongoing conversations, especially for the regulatory side and research and collaboration side. So within the DA, we're interfacing with BAFS, Bureau of Agri and Fishery Standards. They're in charge of certifying and regulating all organic inputs into the country. So we fit that category. And then also we've started to have some conversations with BPI, Bureau of Plant Industry, which is essentially, I guess, the R&D arm of the Department of Agri, wherein whatever project or science or field research relating to a particular crop,
yeah.
particular soils in given regions, that would be the bureau to work with at DA. So I've started the interface with those two particular bureaus within DA.
What particular crops would benefit from the use of algae?
So I think so far from everything that we have field tested this on, it seems to be responsive to any possible crop that we could imagine, just with varying, frankly speaking, yes, varying levels of yield improvement or health improvement. But the short answer is yes, this could help with any kind of crop or plant. So going back to our US example, we started with berries. We've done corn,
Berries.
strawberries, blueberries.
Strawberry. Yeah, okay.
We've also generated data on avocado. We've also generated significant data on corn. And we've also started to branch out into the animal feed side of things, in specifically poultry, right?
So
Because
it's also usable for animal feeds.
correct. So as going back to what we're talking about, that biology professor I was speaking with at
Yeah.
UP Diliman, he said yes, algae is a building block,
Yeah,
right, of the ecosystem. So it's applicable in
almost all types of agricultural concerns. No?
correct. That this is even applicable to what that category they refer to as nutraceuticals that's coming up, na kind of nutrition / pharmaceuticals. So
Pharmaceuticals.
think about like health supplements.
Have you gone into that?
We've started some conversations with some big companies in the US and Japan, but most recently and most especially in Japan, that are involved in that space as they figure out whether as an ingredient or standalone product, microalgae applications can be used. So So it just so happens we're addressing this from the agri-vector right now, but in terms of applicability in multiple sectors, multiple industries, yes, that's the direction.
So, Oscar, we have to pause right now for some commercial break. And maybe Teddy would be back with us.
Sure.
And this break is brought to you by Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Usapang OFW is the show that honors the journeys of our modern-day heroes, our OFWs. Join Chingmi Fernandez, John Dodson, and Rafi Ayang every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. to hear the real stories behind the sacrifices. Watch it live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
Want to hear from thought leaders shaping our world? Straight Talk with Chito Lozada and Montelibano dives into leadership, politics, and business every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Catch conversation live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Ready for the hot takes of today's biggest issues? Hot Patatas with Vernon Velasco and Carl Magadia delivers the news that matters every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Tune in live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok, where the real talk happens.
So we're back here with Straight Talk. So we're still with Oscar Lumen, and he's going to talk about the other company.
Sure, with the Kitra Corporation.
Kitra
Okay,
Corporation.
Yes,
Japanese company.
yes, which it's.
How did you get involved in this?
So
Mr.
with Kitra, I got involved with it through meeting the principal of Kitra here in Manila several years ago.
He's Japanese.
He's yes, Japanese national. We essentially started here at the same time with that nanotechnology project I
what year was
mentioned.
that?
So this was in about 2017 was when
matagal na rin.
when I first met Kitra's founder and principal.
About
And
8 years ago.
because I also had Japanese partners at Nanotechnology Solutions with the overall overlapping networks and contacts within the Japanese business community. I came to know Kitra that way. And during the pandemic, right, I ended up going back to the States for longer because of for obvious reasons of how do you travel during those
Yes, exactly.
those conditions. And I think as we all saw, right, the boom in how much we were ordering, shopping
Yeah.
online, consuming, wala
Yeah,
tayong ibang magawa.
Grab and
right?
lalamove
Yeah,
and
so
everything.
from that time, I got contacted by the principal of Kitra, by the founder of Kitra, and he was saying, "Well, yeah, I'm assuming you're not
In the
up
middle
to
of
much right now, while in the middle of this, but our business is continuing to stay alive because we still need to eat and drink something,
But
even while
he was
we're-"
calling you from Manila?
He was calling me from Japan at that time, and what he was saying was, of course, once things loosen up again, we'll continue to be very active in Manila. But while you're waiting out the pandemic in San Francisco, would you like to get involved with the U.S. subsidiary that I'm setting up? And so the core business really is import-export of food and beverage products. Right? I think all of us being Filipinos and Asians, we're all quite intimately familiar with Japanese cuisine,
Love
right?
Japan and
Japanese snacks, Japanese whiskeys. So that is
Expensive.
expensive, although there's
Japanese single
Yeah,
malt.
it's-
Fantastic.
yeah.
Probably the best.
It is. It's excellent, and we have a product catalog of over 1,000 SKUs. SKUs is in the barcodes, for the barcode of a consumer product.
Okay.
So it really spans anything you could imagine, from rice cracker snacks all the way to high-end whiskeys.
Do you sell it here in the Philippines?
Yes, we do sell it here. Yes,
Do you
yes,
have
yes, yes.
Online? Are you
We are not online, although we do work with the big retailers in terms of them being our our main buyers.
Yeah,
of,
I'm interested in your
so-
products. and
yes,
where to
yes,
buy
yes,
it.
yes. So,
Where
so
to buy it? Yeah.
So absolutely, it's readily available in many aisles and grocery store shelves here in
Japanese-
Metro Manila. Yes.
Japanese
Japanese
mayo,
names, of
that
course.
kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes. Everything from QP, Japanese mayo, to this very popular sausage and frozen
yeah.
meat brand called
Yeah.
Shiawasen.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. That is
You
yes.
sent Pacific Bay.
Shiawasen.
I just saw it in
Yes,
Pacific Bay.
yes.
It's very getting good reviews.
How was it?
I like it. This I tasted Japanese kushiwara or something in God almighty, here we go again. In a bar in Makati along Pasay Road, Ralph's Wines.
Sure, sure. Of course, of
It was
course.
very good. We were drinking with the Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's what we do at Kitra. That it's
Fantastic. I
it's
love that.
it's an excellent project. I was fortunate to be involved with.
But where is it really based? Is it based in the Philippines,
We
in Japan? Or
we do have a Manila office. Our headquarters is in Osaka.
Osaka.
Yes, yes.
Nice place.
Yes, yes. Excellent place for eating and drinking. So quite
And good
appropriate.
coffee.
Yes.
Do you have Japanese coffee? Do you sell
Absolutely,
Japanese
yes.
coffee?
We have multiple Japanese brands and varieties of drip coffee,
yeah.
powdered coffee, ground rather, the 3-in-1 packaging. So in multiple formats. Kaya, within that 1,000
Let's see what you
SKUs, ang
carry,
daming
what you
coffee
carry
doon.
in
Yes,
terms of
yes.
coffee.
Absolutely.
I just got a pack from
Japanese bread.
a cousin of mine who was in Kyoto. This Takagi coffee. God,
Takagi coffee.
fantastic.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I've been drinking coffee since I was a kid.
Okay.
This is the best coffee so far.
well, I'll,
Better than anything else.
Drip
for me.
coffee? Oh,
No, it's you ground it.
I will. I'll let our president Mori-san know because he's actually originally from Kyoto, although the company's based
Can
in
we import
Osaka.
it here?
I'll talk to him about that.
Takagi, that's the name.
I'll mention that in our weekly Zoom calls where we're catching up on very. Maganda
I will
ganda. That's a
appreciate
great
it.
idea.
So I don't
Thank
need
you.
to wait like 5 months.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
she goes to Japan every 5 months. My God. Sorry. Yeah, but that's very interesting. Huh? And how's it doing?
Doing quite well, right? That again, because we're really starting to show up in a lot of the big grocery store chains here. Right? We have a steady.
Restaurants, marketplace.
Mainly, I want to say, let's say the SNRs and Pure
SNRs.
Golds and Landerses of the world.
okay,
Those would be kind of
Go on,
our main channels that are coming up. But also, yeah, we're trying to figure out how to really grow not just here but regionally also, because consumption for Japanese products is so strong.
Yeah, because,
Then one of my main mandates, naman from here to the other side of the world, is really to open up the Americas, both North and South America, for more of our catalog to get distributed.
Yeah, but we're Western
in
Visayas.
both. Yeah,
This
yeah,
isn't part of your territory.
not mine specifically, not me personally, but our company definitely, our Manila office is developing
have a
business.
Manila office.
Yes, yes, yes. Developing business nationwide here in the Philippines.
Filipinos or
Yes,
manning it or Japanese?
It's a Filipino staff, although we have a couple of people in the staff that do speak Nihongo. I speak passable Japanese myself as well, but yeah, we have a global team ready to handle order inquiries talaga.
That's a very interesting mix. Huh?
Yes,
I mean, your business interests.
yes, yeah, no.
Did you ask
trading
him-
in the agriculture.
Did you ask him about whether you're already applying to RG here?
We talked about
we
that.
talked about
I have an ongoing interface with the two bureaus within DA that would really be the ones mainly involved in this topic or kind of product.
Sayang sana si si if Tony Yulo was still there.
Sa
The DNR. But then the DNR. But then, yeah.
Well, it's still there. Okay.
But
never-
maybe you can still introduce you to okay.
Yeah, Popolatilians.
Or can Lubang.
So, Oscar, I regret that we're
Are we done?
done. Jesus.
Well,
Jesus fast.
yeah, this
But,
is an interesting conversation, Jets.
Can we have your parting words then?
Well, and I wanna thank the Daily Tribune for providing me with this platform to share my endeavors as a Filipino growing up abroad who found his way back to the motherland and
And we
looking for
appreciate you
ways
for
to
that.
contribute to the country's progress and economic growth.
Yes, thank
So
you. and
I
thank you
totally
very
appreciate
much.
that. Thank you very much. And,
Thank you also for your time and for sharing with us your very good information.
thank you.
Sharing with us your interests.
Yeah, that's true. So, mga katribo, that's all for today. And thank you for joining us as we explore the global innovations and opportunities with the corporations,
Oscar Lumen.
Oscar Lumen.
Thank you.
If you miss any part of today's show, catch the replay on Daily Tribune's Facebook and Tribune Now on YouTube.
So,
Catch patatas later.
catch Hot Patatas later at 3 p.m. and stay updated with Tribune News on Q every 9:30 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4:30 p.m.
See you next time on Straight Talk. I'm Teddy Montelibano.
And I'm Chito Lozada. Stay safe and stay informed.
Isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Nandito po uli ang inyong lingkod. Ako po si Manong Joe para sagutin ang inyong mga katanungan. May tanong si netizen Menandro Rodriguez tungkol sa rates ng Meralco ngayong buwan ng Mayo. Hindi ba usually tumataas ang rate kapag summer? Bakit ngayon bumaba? Anya? Kapag dry season na pumapatak sa mga buwan ng Marso hanggang Mayo, malaki ang posibilidad na tumaas ang bill dahil sa seasonality of consumption. Pero ngayong buwan ng Mayo, bumaba ng halos 75 centavos per kilowatt hour ang singil sa kuryente. Ibig sabihin, ang pamilyang kumukonsumo ng 200 kilowatt hours kada buwan hanggang 500 kilowatt hours kada buwan ay makakatipid ng mula 150 hanggang 375 pesos sa kanilang bill. Dalawa ang dahilan ng bawas singil ngayong buwan. Una, dahil sa mas mababang generation charge dahil sa bawas singil mula sa Wholesale Electricity Spot Market o WESM at Independent Power Producers. Pangalawa, bumaba rin ang transmission charge na binabayad sa National Grid Corporation dahil naman sa decrease sa ancillary charges. Sana ay naliwanagan kayo sa explanation na ito kung bakit bumaba ang singil sa kuryente ngayong Mayo. Para sa iba pang katanungan, Ask Manong Joe lang hanggang sa muli.